Tecumseh Sherman is best known as the leader of 67,000 Union troops that marched through the rebel state of Georgia, completely incinerating farms, cities, and even tearing up railroad tracks. So-called Sherman's March to the Sea, this campaign from November 15th to December 21st, 1864, saw the complete destruction of homes, businesses, and the lives of men at the front. This philosophy is commonly referred to as total war. For this program, it will be called Shermanization, the effects of Sherman's March to the Sea in Civil War America.
Before Sherman entered the southeast theater of the war, the Union was struggling with its militaristic objectives. Generals such as Little Mac McClellan and McDowell failed to recognize the ugliness of war and the lives that would have to be sacrificed for victory. The Union was in dire need for someone that was utterly determined to end the conflict, no matter the cost. According to Sessa's The Character of William Tecumseh Sherman, he was a graduate at West Point with top marks and earned his fierce reputation as an uncompromising leader through years of training. He held a close philosophy that set him apart from many major figures in the war, believing in war not only on enemy forces, but on their opponent's home front. Thus, a nation could inflict psychological terror amongst people and effectively end the war quicker.
Sherman's daring tactics were faced with opposition from enemy forces and even his superiors. According to Rhodes' Sherman's March to the Sea, a flurry of letters were exchanged between Generals Sherman and Hood during the 4-month siege of Atlanta. The Confederate general called out Sherman's barbarous actions upon the civilians, to which the opposing general responded, "I say that it is kindness to these families of Atlanta to remove them now at once from scenes that women and children should never be exposed to, and the brave people should scorn to commit their wives and children to the rude barbarians who thus, as you say, violate the laws of war as illustrated in the pages of its dark history." The Union general eventually took the commercial stronghold in early September 1864, twisting railroads into Sherman's neckties and burning the city to the ground. Ever since the last Confederate troops and citizens had been evacuated later that month, Hood had been planning an assault on Union General Thomas and his troops across the Tennessee River. In an attempt to counter the opposing general, Sherman was finally approved by Ulysses Grant to abandon his supply bases and torch Atlanta in order to embark on a march towards Savannah. The Union general showed his qualities of a prevalent believer in total war upon reaching his destination. Sherman's idea was that war not only needed to be waged on the opposing soldiers, but on the opposing land, citizens, and economy. This principle of his would weaken the morale of Georgian men at the front, knowing their home lives were in shambles. Shortly after Savannah's destruction, he telegraphed President Lincoln to present the city's 25,000 bales of cotton and 150 cannons as a Christmas gift. Accounts of a Southern woman and a cousin of Charles Sumner on Documenting the American South described how the demonic Yankees would wantonly pillage under orders of their general. Rampant fear of the North ran throughout the South, while the throat of the Confederacy's commercial enterprise bled. Aspects of this still remain controversial, such as whether or not citizens should be treated as hostile, and whether or not crippling an economy would be considered too dirty for a true military engagement. Sherman proclaimed that the laws of war were insignificant next to the ultimate goal of helping the North reunite the country, putting it best when he stated in a letter to the city council, "You cannot qualify war in harsher terms than I will. War is cruelty, and you cannot refine it, and those who brought war into our country deserve all the curses and maledictions as a people can pour out." Sherman's March to the Sea was a major campaign lasting from November 15th to December 21st, 1864, that helped bring about the outcome of the Civil War as it is known. The general's idea of total war, and examples of this from twisted rail lines to burning Atlanta and Savannah to the ground, showed the effectiveness of his actions and how he truly desired the goal of unity in a country divided.